If you want to speak,
Yeah.
if you want to speak, you must sign in.
Yeah.
Where?
Right outside the door on the sidewalk.
All right, my apologies, the technology is not behaving properly. But if it goes out, someone let me know, because I don't have my computer on right now. We talked about Portland Police Department. Oh, sorry, where's the costs? So Nassau County Police Department, that's already part of our general taxes. So that's paid for in your general taxes. Village-wide security cameras and license plate readers, if that's something we want to do, there's funds out there. We can get grants. I had a very conductive meeting today with Gina Solitti. There are grants out there. I think we can get some grants from her office. I've also reached out to Jack Martin's office. Haven't had a chance to connect with him yet. I'm sure there are funds from his office as well where we can get those grants to put in the system so that we won't have the big tax burden. Also, village taxes, and we have ARPA funds. However, those ARPA funds, we have them that I really earmark them for our village equipment. Our trucks are aging. That's something we originally kind of focused on. And if we want to spend them on something else, we're not going to have trucks. Port Washington Police Department, again, that would be a very large increase in village taxes. And a private security patrol, again, increase in village taxes. So when we're looking at a security company, this is kind of what I was looking for. We want law enforcement officers, either active or retired. We could go cheap, and then we can get somebody who's working at Taco Bell during the day and doing security at night. And I don't think that's what we want this village. I think we want people who are trained security professionals. They know what to look for, and they know what to do when they see something, and they know what to be looking for. We want a marked vehicle. I know there's some people who think we should also possibly have unmarked vehicles, but ideally we want to have a presence. So we want a marked vehicle, yellow flashing light. We could use it as we decide to have that implemented. I want a company that could provide GPS tracking and location history. I want to make sure that they're out there, what we're paying for, because this patrol is going to be overnight. Most of us are not up to see if the car has gone by the homes. So we want to be able to see where they are. And if there is an incident, we want to know where they were at that time to see if it's effective or not. We want incident reports. We want a cell phone line. So if we need to reach out to the officer in the car, that we can do that. And then obviously uniforms and other pertinent equipment. That all has to be provided by the company. Before I get to the next slide with the costs, the most important thing for everybody to understand, this is not cheap. You're going to see some numbers, and some people are going to think it's great, and some people are going to think, wow, that's a lot of money. Where does that money come from? So today, I analyzed our budget just 2 days ago on Tuesday with our treasurer. We're 2/3 through our financial year. We are on track to bring in all the expected revenue. So revenue-wise, we're looking good. Expenses, we're okay right now. We have some non-budgeted expenses this year on our village trucks. They're old. They needed a lot more maintenance than we expected. This room needed a new air conditioning unit that wasn't budgeted for. Our generator, which died on us, was not a budgeted expense. And our alarm panel, our fire alarm panel died. That wasn't budgeted. So I don't have really money in the budget to pay for this right now. There's just nowhere to really cut. However, we have reserve funds. So that's our money. We would have to, if we decide to move forward with this, we'd probably have to use some money from our reserve funds. What is our reserve funds here for? If we have a catastrophic damage to this building, that's what it pays for. If one of our larger vehicles get destroyed for whatever reason, that's not an insurable coverage, we have to pay for that. That payloader that we use all the time, if trees come down and all the things we need to do here, that's probably $300,000 to replace. So that's what you have your reserve funds for. It's a rainy day fund. If we had a massive road collapse and we had to now do unscheduled and unbudgeted road work, that's what's going to we use our reserve funds for. Any questions from the board before I move forward? All right, here's the $1 million question. How much is it going to cost? I spoke to 2 companies. Here's your per hour costs. First one is $62. The other one is $60. If we wanted to do an 8-hour shift, I have a price. Now, initially I thought 8-hour shift, that would work. But now with these crimes that are happening at 5:30 in the morning, which is kind of unexpected time, I probably think, and I'll talk to the rest of the board on this for their input and yours, I think probably a 10-hour patrol is warranted at this point. So what's that going to cost me per week? So that's about $4,300. For the month, that's going to cost us $17,000 to $18,000. And just to annualize, I just want to annualize this for everyone to see. A single car patrol would cost us at this time $225,000. My recommendation that I'm going to make to the board after discussion is to go with the first company. Pro Protection Security, they do the security patrol in Roslyn Harbor right now. They've been doing it for quite a while. I spoke to their mayor. She loves them. She says they're great. They're professional. She has no issues with them. She doesn't fear that's the kind of company where someone's going to be sleeping on the corner and they're not going to be able to protect us for what we want to do. The thing about the second company, Integrated Security Services, they don't have a vehicle. They want me to lease them a vehicle up front. I don't want to commit to leasing a vehicle for something that I'm looking to do on a month-to-month basis, see how it works. If we don't like this company, it gives us some flexibility to find maybe a cheaper company or a better company. Or we find it's not effective, or we find we need something else. So that's kind of why, in my opinion, I'm recommending we go with the first company.
Are they armed?
So I will take questions in a second, because I thought I have one more slide. Nope, I don't have one more slide. They are not armed.
Useless.
No, they're not.
So hold on. This is what's going to happen. We're going to call on people individually to speak. We're not going to be having a yelling back and forth thing. I need to keep order. We have a lot of people in the room. A lot of people want to speak. And again, I have the deadline at 7 o'clock so the zoning board can come in. They're not armed. I don't want an armed patrol, and you don't want an armed patrol. What their job is to do is observe and report. They're either current or retired law enforcement officers. They know what to look for. They will pick up their phone, they will dial 911, and the police will come and make the appropriate contact with the people. I don't want something bad to happen to one of our children, to any one of our family members. No one should have guns. If you have a gun, great, keep it in your house. Guns do not belong on our streets. The only people who should have guns are police officers, active Nassau County police officers. It's a bad idea. It's something that can go south.
Mayor, I know you're going to take questions, but I just wanted, before I forget.
And that's your last question, because I'm going back to you last now.
No problem.
Okay.
So Sunday morning, 5:30, I was at the house that 5 men tried to break into.
Mm-hmm.
So until you have that
And
happen.
I am very sorry that it happened
No
to
problem.
you. It's
No
terrible.
worries. When you wake up out of a dead sleep,
Mhm.
and 5 guys are beating on your doors and your windows with crowbars and everything else, I'm just telling you, I was raised differently. This is like easy living here. You understand? And I didn't worry about it where I was prior to being here, or even as a kid.
Right.
We shouldn't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna tell you that they're not deterred, and I'll tell you why. I just moved here 3 years ago.
Mhm.
My house has 13 cameras outside, 2 Ring doorbells, floodlights, everything you can imagine. Every bell, every whistle, sensor lights this big that go on when somebody walks.
Mhm.
They did not care. I watched them after the fact on the cameras, walk up, get dropped off. The license plate readers, they're coming in stolen cars. The cars are coming from New Jersey. They're bringing these cars back. That's what they're coming. They're bringing them back.
We know all this.
So
Yes.
the license plate readers are a waste of money. We'd rather put the money into something that's gonna be useful, but I'm just telling you, they're not scared. I can tell you that point blank, they're not scared. So unless there's an ex-law enforcement, military, like what you said, that's armed, I just personally don't think that it's gonna really deter them after what I saw the other night.
All right, so I'm not going to go back and forth. Thank you for your opinion. Before I go to the public, I guess special member. I'm calling on him. Does anyone from the board have any questions?
No,
Want to say
Randall,
anything
it might-
beforehand?
It might be helpful for the audience to understand, because I know a lot of people know Sands Point has their own police. East Hills, I think we talked about last night, has their own security. Are they armed, and is their crime lower?
So hold up. So Sands Point is a police department. Lake Success has a police department. Obviously, they're armed because they are a police department. East Hills they don't farm that out. That is their own employees that do their security
So they've
patrol.
hired somebody for some amount of money.
No, East Hills has a full-time employee
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what I meant.
Theirs is about, technically, it's almost 24 hours a day, depending on how many cars they have out there. And speaking to the mayor of East Hills, it costs them well over $1 million a year to do this.
And gun or no gun?
No gun. These are trained people, but they're not anybody with a gun. The only people who really have a gun from that perspective, it's either a police force, if we had our own, or a security company. I think guns are accidents waiting to happen. That they will call the police. I don't think we want a security patrol chasing people down, guns out, shooting the wrong person, getting shot themselves, innocent people getting hurt. That's a scary thing from my perspective. Anyone else on the
Yeah,
board? Yes, Mr.
I just think
Smith.
for perspective for everybody here, we're just looking at a number of $225 a year. What's our annual budget in the village?
Thank you for bringing that up. So our budget, the Highline budget is $4 million a year, but almost $1 million of that goes right out the door to our fire departments. So we're looking at $3 million budget. Now, the amount of money that comes in via taxes are about $2 million. So if I was looking at a 200, let's say 300, because the quote I got previously that I presented a couple of days ago was if we did a 1-year commitment, I can get 2 cars to do the village for about $350 a year. That's an increase to our tax base of about 15%. Now, the other way to bring in monies is raising our permit fees, building fees, things like that. But the way to get this money, if we wanted to do something full-time for a year, it's going to be a tax increase. We're going to have to vote as a board to pierce the tax cap, and then we're going to have to increase taxes. Because I can't keep on spending down our reserve funds. The state controller, Tom DiNapoli, has certain recommendation of the dollar amount or the percent of your budget that you should have as reserve funds. We're at that number. We're very healthy. We're a very, very healthy village. We have been watching our numbers for years. We're very fiscally conservative. And we would have to then build back up that
Please be
reserve
quiet,
fund.
please.
If that's
Hey.
some-
Quiet, please. You want to have a conversation, step outside.
If we would then have to continually raise taxes because we have to rebuild that reserve fund if we did.
Does this board have the authority to pierce the tax cap or?
No, 100%. No, that's us. A board can make a motion to pierce the tax cap, and some villages do that on an annual basis. Some don't. We never have. We've always stayed within the tax cap. That's something I think this board has been very proud of, is to stay under the tax cap and be fiscally conservative. I am going by a list. So the first,
Nobody wants to speak?
nobody wants to speak?
If
Okay,
you
no one's on the
want to
list?
speak, you need to sign up and check the box that says, I want to speak.
Well, let's assume, Ronnie, let's assume everybody on there wants to speak. They don't have to come back up.
All right.
You gotta use your gavel. You gotta use your gavel.
No, there'll be no gavel. All right. The first person I would like to speak, who I promised to speak, is Mr. Scott Liebman. Mr. Liebman, where are you?
I'm right here.
Thank you,
I thought I
sir.
had to check the box.
No, you don't have to, because you and I communicated that you would be first. Mr. Palatnik, you will be second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Oh, and in the interest of keeping things going smoothly and quickly, because there's a lot of people here, 3 minutes.
I will be less than 3 minutes.
No, I will still have you for your 3 minutes.
Mr. Lehman, I just want your address for the record.
108 Cardinal.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, trustees, thank you for your time again, speaking unfortunately to you again on the exact same topic. I sent you all a letter today signed by 156 residents of this village. I understand that they need actual original signatures. So I left the petition outside for private security and.
It would be better for the record if they were
and
signed.
it will be out there.
I
will-
appreciate it.
It's
Thank you.
here, by the way.
and there's a whole bunch of them. If people online or streaming want to email me at ssleepman@gmail.com, I will set up a time for people to sign it. I'm not a community organizer, but I will take this
Oh, you
upon
are now,
myself.
Scott.
I
You
am a
are.
community organizer right now.
Yes, you are.
So we as a community, I think this room is filled. We're asking for you for a sense of urgency. People are scared. We're not coming to you in fear, we're coming to you in strength right now. We want to do something. We want action and we want urgency. I look at these numbers and I'm a lawyer, I'm not a finance guy, but I checked the census. 2020 census says there's 1,500 households in the village of Flower Hill. I don't know, that's $150 a house increase for that, give or take. If we're talking, so let's be real about numbers, we're looking at about $150 a house. If we have to vote on that, I will go door to door and ask people to vote for it. So what we're asking, I appreciate all the work, I thank you for it. We want urgency, we want action. This has nothing to do with Nassau County Police. I think they're doing a great job, but you're right, they can't be anywhere.
Correct.
We're doing the exact same thing over and over again, so let's try something different and let's make this happen quickly. Thank you for your
So
time.
just so you know, there is no vote. The board makes the vote, but the board represents the people. And if the people want things,
And I
the board
will
likes to do
work on
things.
getting people to sign for you.
Thank you. Mr. Palatnik and my friend Vito. Oh, there you
Yeah, can I
sneak to the
speak from
side.
there? Am I allowed? Is that
You want
okay?
to stand. That works. I didn't
Alright.
see you sneak up there.
So I really want to speak
All right,
to
and just name and address.
Eric Palatnik, 88 Country Club Drive. I wanted to speak to the community really. The trustees, you guys are doing great, cops doing great, but we have a big problem. So what we're doing over on Country Club Drive, on our side, we met last night, is 50 households. We're tackling that number ourselves. We're hiring somebody ourselves to patrol a 3-block radius on Country Club Drive, our 3 blocks. What we're hoping is that the sentiment that we just said a second ago will mimic into what we've carved up into 4 quadrants on that side of Country Club. We're hoping all 4 will hire the same security group. Now you have 4 cars cruising. They're covering 3 blocks each. I did the lap last night. I could do it in 90 seconds, 30 miles an hour, at 2 in the morning.
Eric, our
Speed limit
limit's
is
25.
Right? So it'll take me 100 seconds. It'll take me 100 seconds. The point is, within 2 minutes, there'll be a car in front of your house every single night. Every person in the house gets a phone number. The person on patrol will come to the house. If there's a kid in the house, every person will be advised which house is empty, which house has people in it, who's on vacation, who's not. And our goal on our side is deterrence. We don't care if they go somewhere else. We don't care if you catch them. We don't want them on our block. And we believe flashing lights during the prime hours will stop them. Other ideas we've talked about is a neighborhood watch. We're organizing right now. Everybody's up at all different hours. Everybody's gonna pick up 20 minutes and everybody's gonna cruise around and cover as many hours as we can. And we're gonna keep meeting. We've broken up into groups, people are doing different things, and we're gonna keep meeting and talking while they're doing what they're doing. If they do what they do and they get 1 car to go through here, with all due respect, 1,500 houses, you're in the same boat as just having basically 1 cop in your small town. We need a much bigger item than 1 car. We really need a police force. And just so you all know, we're in no man's land, and we're never gonna change it. I've learned that, okay? You're on the edge of Port Washington Police, and you're on the edge of Nassau. Nobody's coming here. When was the last time any of you saw a police car patrol your block? I lived here 15 years, I've seen 1.
Eric, last night I saw a police car.
No,
So
that's
they're
not,
there
that's
all
not
the
true.
time.
That's not true at all.
But with all due respect to the police, and I think the community knows it, and we're not trying to put down the police. We are underprotected. And we're not gonna put up for it. We're not down, we're not bothered by 400 a month, we're not bothered by 200 a month, and if it need be 1,000 a month right now, we'll pay the bill on our side of the block, so that these people get the signal, go to your side of the block, don't come to ours. And hopefully you'll get the signal, hey, let us go down the block to
Eric, that's
that.
not helpful for a community, we all need to be.
Well,
doing
that's-
it. You send them to my side.
We're not going
That's
with this,
gonna
semi
be
sarcasm, we're
Let's
going
work
with this
together
at a
as a
time,
community.
we're going with this, is I'm hoping that we'll all band together as a community. We'll see what we're all doing, we'll mimic it, and they'll do what they're doing, and by the time we're done.
All right,
we'll
Eric.
be effective. Thank you.
Thank you. Vito, did you want to speak? We're good? All right. Since I don't have the list, Ronnie, you want to give me the list? I'm gonna cherry pick. Hey, I want to tell you a quick little story though about the police. My neighbor's door blew open last week through the winds. The dog walker didn't lock the door. It blew wide open. She was driving home from work. She didn't pick up the call from Sloman's. By the time she got to the house, the door was open. She texted me. She's like, what should I do? By the time I walked 3 doors down, the police were there, 2 cop cars. So they're there. When you need them, they come and they walk through the house. They make sure it wasn't a burglar. We checked the ring camera. It was the wind. It blew the door right open.
And just let me add, police do patrol the neighborhood. I see them every day on
They're there.
Cherrywood Lane. And we know the police officers who work in this precinct. They come in here, they use this facility, go to bathrooms. They're out driving around. So anybody saying that they've lived here 20 years and only seen a police car once, that means you're not looking at your window because they're out there, and they're out there particularly at night. And they don't have their lights on, so
I'm
you
gonna
wouldn't
go
even know.
Down in order, Mr. Kirsch.
So,
For the record,
Please.
Gary Kirsch, 44 Sycamore Drive. Is it true there are about 150 homes in?
1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
4,800 residents, 1,500 homes per the 2020 census.
So 1 to 2 cars driving around the village that size. I mean, how many times a night is that gonna go down my block? Once every couple of hours? And the chance of him having to drive by when there's a crime going on, like getting hit by lightning.
I think also it's more of the reality is more of a visual deterrent. If the bad guys see cars with flashing lights, be it a police officer or a security patrol, they're going to want to go somewhere else.
20 blocks away.
They're going to want to go somewhere else. So
And
to
they'll just
have,
wait till the car to drive by.
they might. Listen,
What Eric's talking about sounds more effective because driving around constantly.
but what his concept is, it's like it's a car a block. So if you want to have, since you live around the block from me, you and I could have our own car circling and circling and circling. I don't think we want a police state, and I don't think we can
No,
afford
well,
to pay for that.
That's too much. This is way too little to be worth
Okay.
the money, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to next on the list. I can't read this person's name. It starts with a D. It's not David Franco. Did you sign this, David? I'm just guessing. I'm like, there's a David. So I'm like, for the record, your address, Mr. Franco, what
David
Bayberry?
Frankel, 12 Bayberry Ridge.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Franco.
don't know about the people in this room, and I don't know about the board, but I've lived here now for 45, 46 years. It's the first time I've seen an emergency meeting in that period of time over something that does not have to be an emergency. So I'm offended by that. I've been burglarized, and I wonder how many of you in the room have actually gone through a burglary. So I'm sensitive to it, and I know all about it. I know the violation. I know all the feeling. This is misplaced. This whole effort, and in all deference to you, Randall,
I respect
all
your
I've
opinion,
heard
David. I'm not going to take this
all
as
I've heard
offense.
is I recommend, I. This is a process, and the process is being circumvented. There are a great many people here who are very concerned about their welfare. You don't have the recall that I do, maybe you do, some of you, of the ninja burglar. He was a second-story guy. He carried around a silver pistol.
That was 30 years
Shot
ago.
and discharged the
30 years
pistol in
ago.
one of the homes. It was dealt with by the Nassau County Police. Eventually, they get caught. There are people who do smash over in these malls. They do people. This is not going, I'm talking about security patrol. I'm not against the other things. And it's going to cost. There's legacy costs involved in these things. These things do not go away once you start it. That's a misnomer. It's like a federal government deficit. Don't kid yourself. It's a slippery slope. All I'm saying to you, I've experienced, I've been here a long time. I caught the ninja guy. You're gonna have theft, you're gonna have burglary. You cannot stop it. Just like one of the gentlemen said, the one who wants to hire protection for his home block. God bless you guys. If you want to do that, raise the money yourselves, not tax all the residents, and you go do it. But they're going to break into your house. They're going to do it in 3 minutes. They're going to go right to your bedroom. They know exactly where to go, what to go for, and they're going to be out of there in 3 minutes. Hopefully the county police, who have guns, will be able to trace these people, to check them, and they won't get them on the first go-round, and you may be violated. But people who do this, they do it for a living too, or drug habit. they will catch them on the next go around or the next
All
one.
right, David.
There's no way, and I'm
You
gonna
got
finish up.
your three. Okay.
Okay, just, it's process. And to jump to conclusions this evening, that we should try somebody out, we should hire it, think long and hard, and let's defer, create your committee, look at all your options, but don't be jumping on something that you don't want to go down, and you don't know what the results are gonna be, except if you go to private security, we're talking about dollars added to the tax base.
Correct. So David, thank you. David, thank you for your comment. But hold on, David, I just want to address one thing. The crime we have had, and these nice people here at Country Club or Dogwood.
Dogwood Lane.
So the burglars were trying to get into, and the incidents that happened on Country Club Lane days before this, they're not coming into empty houses during the day. They're coming into houses at nighttime when people are sleeping. They're not going up to the bedroom of Mary Jo's house. The recent crime, they're coming in at nighttime. The incident on Country Club Lane, they broke in a window of an occupied home at night. The alarm went off. The homeowner confronted the burglar, and the burglar left. So it's more than just during the day. We have some of those crimes, but this is nighttime crime.
Driving around in a security car may not be the answer. That's
All right.
all I'm saying.
Thank you, David.
That's all I'm saying is you don't get what you're thinking you were gonna get.
David, I'm going to say your name wrong. Fradilakis. I can't say it.
What's the name, Andy?
Oh, it's Andy. Yes, sorry. Yes. How do you say your last name, sir?
Fredolakis,
Mr. Fradilakis. For the record, your address is?
167 Hemlock.
Thank you, sir. You may speak.
I'd just like to make a few comments. First, we already pay taxes. That's supposed to provide protection. If there's an uptick in crime in the village, maybe Nassau County Police could put more units on the streets in our village, at least temporary. I think this is gonna be a waste of money. People, like the gentleman said, whose house was broken into, nothing phases these people. They walk into Home Depot and Walmart in broad daylight, because they know nothing will happen to them. They'll be booked and be out in the street in half hour. 24 hours. So they know nothing will happen to them. So to me, unless you have a car in every block, right? Or the police could react to a call within 2 to 3 minutes, because that's all it takes them to do what they need to do.
Right.
Right? This will be a waste of money, to me. I think you need to really, really analyze it before you jump into this, like the gentleman said here.
Can the people at the back move so the people in the back can come around? There's space in the back if people want to stand. You don't have to stand all the way out in the hallway. Sorry, our boardroom isn't large enough. to fit
There's one
everybody.
empty seat in the front if somebody wants to take it.
Joe from 77 Crabapple, because I can't read your handwriting. Thank you, sir.
I think it's gotten to a point where we need to put more than a Band-Aid on it. And I really think that we need to take the time as opposed to rush into something on a one-off basis. I think we really need the time, get together the security committee and come up with a comprehensive game plan that makes some sense. For the number of people in our area, I mean, realistically, how many cars do you need? I think that was a very good point that was made earlier. One car, $225,000, it's not gonna do a damn thing. It may make people feel a little better once in a while, they see a flashing light going around the neighborhood, but it's not gonna be effective. I mean, my home was robbed a number of years ago. Fortunately, we weren't home. And to be honest with you, it was just property damage. Police didn't give a damn. Unless somebody gets hurt, nobody's gonna get it, nobody's gonna investigate it. I didn't get one call after the fact from a detective, and I told them the week before, for the first time, I had a tradesman come in the house, had to go in my bedroom to fix something, they never even looked into it. So I think that we need an effective deterrent. And if it's gonna cost $225,000 a car, what is it gonna cost to bring it in-house? If we wanted to have people working for us that were gonna go around the community, I realize that's gonna be a budget hit, but is it gonna cost $225,000 a year?
So I don't know. However, if we bring it in-house, now we have to start paying people benefits. We have to have someone to manage those people.
I understand that.
It's
Liability.
I understand that.
Liability also.
Right.
I understand. but-
What's great about having an outside source is we don't have a liability. If it's something we need to increase, decrease, get rid of, it's easy. With employees, that's not as easy. We have to invest in vehicles. When you're hiring, when you outsource these services,
I understand that.
you're getting a lot of
No, I
benefits from
understand
it.
that, but I have a question. Are we really comfortable that outsourcing is gonna be effective as opposed to having a process we can really manage? And the fact that we can cut it off at any time, definitely a plus. But what we want now is an effective, comprehensive plan
Mhm.
to deal with security in the area. We don't have it now. With all due respect, and maybe you're right, I'm not looking out my window all the time. I haven't seen a patrol car in the area in a long time unless there was an event. If there's an event, they get there, I think they're effective at that point, but that's after the fact. The real issue we have is what do we have to do proactively to do the best we can to prevent it. We're never gonna eliminate it totally, but we need a proactive upfront plan that's comprehensive, deals with the issue, and offers a real deterrent to these people. Because I think a great point we made now, times have changed. They know if they get caught and nobody's hurt, they're probably gonna be out on the street.
So that's a bigger change than I can affect
No, I
in this room.
understand that, I know we can't change that.
And if that's
But I think
something,
that's-
I recommend that people reach out to their state assembly person, to their state senator, reach out to the governor. If everybody in this room gets 5 friends to say the same message, our state legislatures have to listen to us. It's not just me, it's not just Frank, it's everybody here, and we make it the snowball
I know
effect.
we can't change that, but all I'm saying is that fact adds to the problem we have. Which means it's more important that we have an effective, comprehensive plan that's not gonna stop anything, but will give people a level of comfort that will help.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm not sure this will help. I think it'll make everybody feel good to see the car, as I said, in the light flashing, but I don't know that it's gonna do anything at all, unless we really go whole hog like they're
All right.
doing on the other side.
Thank you. I'm gonna call on the nice lady in the back because she's been patiently waiting.
Thank you so much.
Your name for the record, ma'am?
Susan DeFazio, 126 Boulder Road. Super quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just in the research and looking into these private security companies, do they have specific data on areas they've worked in for a period of time where they've shown their effectiveness, that they've reduced the crime after a year or however long a period of time?
I don't have that answer. I just know, speaking with other villages that have either their own or hired out security patrol, they don't have, it's hard to get that data because you have your police data, and that's kind of, it doesn't necessarily mean that all your crimes have gone down because of security patrol. Other than what's happened in this last month/6 weeks, if you look at our crime, and I didn't print them out, if you look at our crime reports that we get on the village level, we have very low crime rates. And that's what the commissioner stated when he was here last week. Our crime rates are exceedingly low, but we're having these types of events that are happening right now. So the question is, what do we do to supplement what's happening that we're getting from the Nassau County Police? What can we do to keep ourselves safe? We're not going to go out necessarily and have our own neighborhood watch. It's difficult to be out between the hours of midnight and 5/6 a.m. when these things are happening. I know I like to be sleeping. I don't know how many people here would volunteer to be driving around looking for things. We can't always be vigilant with our properties because we're sleeping. If crime comes when we're not there.
They break in during the day and the afternoon too.
True. But most recently we've had, and not just here, but other neighboring communities, it's a lot of evening events that are happening. Now, some we can help prevent when it comes to the auto larcenies. We can lock our car doors. We can keep our key fobs out of the cars, so we can control that. We can't necessarily control 4 people on Dogwood trying to break into this nice people's house. I watched the video. It's chilling what these people were doing, looking right at the cameras, because they have no respect for anything we have. Yes, ma'am.
I haven't put my name on the list.
No, yeah, we're off the list now, so I still have some time.
I put my name on the list.
Wait, but you didn't check off that you wanted to speak. So I will let you speak after this nice lady.
Put a check there.
Yes, ma'am. name for the record, please, and address.
Angela Classy, I'm at 504 Manhattan Street.
Thank you.
So my concern is about the getaway that's happening. These people aren't being caught. And as we know, I live on Manhasset Woods Road, which is a throughway, it's a pass-through to go from one place to another. And we have easy access to get to the LIE. Can't there be something like a periodic check or something, some kind of a traffic patrol that can deal with who's, speeding or who's.
So that's not something the village that we can do. That would be Nassau County Police. And I'm sure the Civil Liberties Union would come up and say that that's a very bad thing, because I know when it comes to like a drunk checkpoint, they need to pull over every third car. They need to have a reason to do it. I would recommend you can engage with the 6th precinct on this. I can't answer that question on what they can do or not do.
I engaged with the 6th precinct several years ago.
Mhm.
And we actually talked about the traffic patterns and how people are using our streets to cut through.
Right.
And there was no solution. And it's extremely frustrating to know that these people are getting away because
I agree.
nobody is stopping them.
And when the police are pursuing, they are cutting off the pursuit, because one of the people, I wrote in my email that it was 100 miles an hour. Actually, it was 120 miles an hour from what the commissioner told me. The police are not going to chase cars at 120 miles an hour, because when those idiots crash into somebody, they're going to kill someone. And the commissioner, rightfully so, doesn't want blood on his hands for chasing a criminal. They will chase the real bad guys. If someone is involved with weapons and the bad things, they're going to go after them. If someone's breaking into a house or stealing a car, they are not willing to risk the lives of innocent people to grab these people.
That's all well and good, it makes perfect sense to me, but to imagine that one car patrolling these neighborhoods